formula of Diesel Clean restores lost power, smooths rough-running engines, and improves fuel economy up to 8%. You can't get peak diesel performance from an additive made for both gas and diesel. Get Diesel Clean at auto and farm and ranch stores nationwide.
And now, back to KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman on AM 650 KGAB.
And 9:11 is the time. Still looking pretty premium here in the Magic City of the Plains. 51, your current temperature right now. Maybe some thunderstorm action a little bit later on. I know some of the kiddos around Laramie County 1 are probably taking some field trips as well as we get closer to summer. And what a great time today to have our next guest. He's the man that doesn't mind getting his fingers dirty. He's been the director out at the Cheyenne Botanic Garden since, well, before Ronald Reagan became president, probably. Well, there you go. All right. And his name's Shane Smith.
I was 12 years old.
You were 12? Okay. All right, Shane Smith. And by the way, the webcam is on, so if you want to view us, head on out to YouTube and click on the KGAB AM 650 link. Then you can join us in the conversation today with Shane Smith. And so I know we've had a lot of weather going on, a lot of wet weather.
That's for sure.
Is probably prolonged some of your building out there with the new addition to the Botanic Garden.
Yeah, just to give everybody a heads up, one of these days, and it would have been last week if it weren't for the rain, a fence will go up on our construction site, which will basically eat our parking lot, and it's going away. But the big news we want to let everybody know is that the Children's Village, Paul Smith Children's Village, the Cheyenne Botanic Gardens greenhouse, both remain open to the public. Free of charge as always. You just have to walk a little further.
Well, that's good because I'm sure my friend Aaron Summers doesn't want to be unemployed for the next 15 months.
Nobody does. This is our time, this time of year. So if you are heading to the Children's Village, we recommend that you come in on basically the new South Lyons Park Drive. It's a road we recently constructed, about a couple years ago, and then park at the old community house parking lot. Mm-hmm. And there's a sidewalk that connects the old community house parking lot to the front door of the Children's Village. You can also, from that parking lot, walk along the lake up past the boat docks and then make a left and head back overland to the front door of the Botanic Gardens greenhouse. Or you can head to the new community house, the Kiwanis Community House, act like you're going in there, and then go take the road south of the community house. You'll pass kind of a big gazebo. Discovery Pond will be on your right. And you can park at what's known as the Boy Scout parking lot. There's a little Boy Scout house there.
101?
Yeah. And there's also some parking along the lake. Just past that, and that's a little bit shorter walk to get to the front door.
So remember, don't go in the Kiwanis house. Just act like you're going to.
Yeah,
right?
Act like it.
All right, very
good.
Keep
on going. Come
great.
on south of there. They've got
great.
some parking there for you.
So how are the community gardens going out there? I know that.
Well, the rain. Nobody wants to work in the mud.
Really?
But I think we're heading towards a little drier temperatures and season and. It's been a crazy amount of water. It doesn't really hurt anything. It slows things down. When the temperatures are cool, it definitely slows things down. We were going at a rapid rate there with some unusual warmth, and then all of a sudden May hits and it's wet. But we are a few days past the average frost date. Mm-hmm. So that date was about the 20th, 21st, depending on how you measure it. That I tell people, caution everybody, that's a 50-50 day. That's 50% chance of frost. And each day past that percent chance of frost decreases to almost nothing as you hit about June 10th. And we have seen frost as late as June 10th. So keep your eye in the sky. You might have to throw something over some plants, but really the 10-day forecast doesn't show any super cold weather. So it's time to get out there and start doing some planting.
All right, we're talking with Shane Smith. He is the director of the Cheyenne Botanic Garden. Shane, I wanted to ask you too, with all this wet rain going on our lawns and everything, fact or fiction? Is it okay to cut your grass when it's a little wet, or is it best to wait till it dries up?
It's best to wait. There are some fungal diseases you can spread around. You also just don't do a very good job of cutting grass because it's laying down. And so when you're done, it's going to look real uneven. It's been a challenge to find the day or the moment you can cut your grass, especially the past couple of weeks. You just need to run out there and wait till it's as dry as it can possibly be. Watch the weather reports, and wet mowing is not a fun thing to do.
Yeah, well, my grass is a little out of control because a couple of
Now
weeks
it's a jungle.
ago, I figured, I'll get to it, and then here comes the rain. Well, we've got a phone call.
Okay.
We'll go on ahead and field a phone call this morning. Good morning. You are on with Shane Smith. It's your turn.
Thank you. My name's Jim. I had your book, and I lost it, and I have tomato plants that, have that blue tinge on the leaves, and it seems to kill them back.
Well, there's two kinds of problems there. If they're young tomato seedlings and they're getting a little purplish, that's a sign that they need a little more phosphorus. So
these are big.
So if they're,
I have a green.
If they're real big, you might be getting it's a kind of a potato-based disease called purple top, and that might be a problem. It's kind of hard to tell sight unseen. I tend to not recommend fungicides at all. My experience is they don't work very good. They look like they're in the same bottle as a bug killer. Bug killers work. Why shouldn't this stuff work? It doesn't work very good. It tends to keep plants from getting disease, but once you have a plant with disease, it really isn't a great help.
Best just to rip it out and get rid of it, huh?
Well, here's what I would tell you to do. One fungicide that I find does work pretty well.
I prefer. I don't use any pesticides or herbicides.
Okay, well, this will work perfect for you then, because this is a fungicide that's totally natural, and it's called fish emulsion or fish fertilizer, and it's a fish-based food. It probably says deodorized on the bottle. When you smell it, you'll be scratching your head going, if this is deodorized, I can't imagine what the real stuff smells like.
Well, I have some. It's not deodorized, but I do have some.
Yeah. Well, even the deodorized stinks. But follow the label, apply that to your tomatoes about once a week for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Don't keep on doing that, because you don't want to overfeed them late in the tomato life, because you want to not give them too much nitrogen, especially come mid-July into August. But right now is a perfect time to put that fish emulsion on. That may well help you out as far as your disease. If it doesn't, not much else you can really do. I wouldn't be touching the leaves when they're wet. I wouldn't let them be touching other healthy tomato leaves. Kind of keep it a little bit isolated if you can.
Yeah.
Maybe need to do a little cleaning.
Just rip it out. I have plenty more.
Yeah, if you got plenty more, maybe that's the way to go too. But I am a firm believer in using the fish food early in the season for all kinds of things. You'll hear me recommend it a lot, but especially tomatoes. I find it can even help for those of you that have trouble rotating your crops around. That's what we recommend, is you don't grow the same plant in the same place. Sometimes you can't help it. For instance, if you have a greenhouse and you're growing tomatoes in a greenhouse, you can't rotate. So the fish fertilizer works in a way to keep that disease away. It's really kind of fascinating. It's not only a fertilizer, it's a plant stimulant, and it's a natural fungicide.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right. Thanks for the phone call. More from Shane Smith, the Botanic Garden. Also, we'll take some of your phone calls at 632-6500, 632-3323, straight ahead. Good morning.
The Toyota Time Sales Event is going on right now. For a limited time, get special deals on all your favorite Toyota models. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan for 2 years or 25,000 miles. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 60 months with $1,667 per thousand borrowed on many of your favorite Toyota models, like Camry, Corolla, Prius, and RAV4. The Toyota Time Sales Event ends June 1st, so hurry in. These deals won't be around for long. Visit Toyota.com for more details. Toyota, let's go places.
Covers normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever occurs first. See participating dealer for coverage details. APR and approved credit from Toyota Financial Services. Security deposit waived. Does not include college grad or military rebate. Offers may vary by region. See participating dealer for details. Offers end 6/1/15.
Visit Bradley Bar Toyota, your hometown Toyota dealer. Or for more information, please log on to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to Cheyenne's #1 News Talk Radio, AM 650, KGAB, and KGAB.com.
Hey, good morning. 9:20 the time, 51 the current temperature. The phone number is 632-6500 or 632-3323. The webcam is on, and our guest is the man that is not afraid, mind you, to get his hands dirty. Of course, we're talking about the director of the Cheyenne Botanic Garden, Shane Smith, and we're just talking gardening stuff here, which I love this segment of the program, especially during this kind of time of the year.
This is the garden time of year.
So yesterday or the day before, my daughter goes out to the front yard, and thankfully we don't have very many. Some of them, the heads were already knocked off, but there was one, and of course I'm talking about dandelion. And she, watch this, Daddy. And she goes to blowing that little head all over the place.
A million little parachutes.
That's right. So what are some of the ways that maybe we can avoid whether our lawn is plagued by them, or maybe we just have a couple of bunches? Some people want to use an herbicide, some don't. Will this affect like bees that want to pollinate in our yard? Kind of put that in perspective for us, would you?
Yeah. We get calls. Does spraying dandelions hurt the bees? Does it hurt the pets, for instance? Well, if you've got a lot of blooms and then you go out and spray, you will probably affect bees especially if they're working over your dandelion. So what we recommend is you mow your lawn, give it a day or two to grow, and then spray. There won't be any blooms out there, and then you get a good kill on the dandelions and you're not hurting the bees. As far as pets, usually once the spray is dry, it's not going to hurt your pet. I wouldn't worry at all about that. As far as strategies, we're talking herbicide here. There's basically broadleaf weed killers. Chemically, it's called 2,4-D. Weed Be Gone is the most common brand. Ortho is the purveyor of that. You can spray that everywhere, or you can spot spray. I prefer spot spraying. Mix up just a little hand trigger plastic sprayer, and you spray the dandelions here and there where they are. One tip with herbicide is you don't over concentrate it, meaning follow the label exactly. Gardeners are notorious for overdoing things. If a little's good, more is better. In this case, if you I'm not saying this is the dosage for herbicide, but let's just hypothetical. If it says 1 teaspoon per gallon and you think, they don't know how bad my dandelions are, I'm going to put 3 spoonfuls in. What's going to happen is you won't kill the dandelions as well. The translocation of the herbicide is hindered if it's more concentrated. It doesn't get down into the root. So you might burn the top, everything looks good, and about 2 weeks later they resprout again, all because you overdid it. So if you follow the label, it'll translocate down to the root.
And then you'll have somebody going, I ain't never buying that again.
That didn't work.
Thanks. Well, while we're on that, let's talk a little bit about fertilizing now.
Well, there's a weed and feed out there, which mixing the two.
But then I wanted to ask you, they also have the kind that you hook up to your water hose and it mixes in with the water and you spray it on. What is better? What is the better fertilizer as far as you know, Shane?
Well, to segue from dandelions, first of all, let's talk about weed and feed, which is lawn fertilizer with dandelion killer in it. And that is okay, but it won't take out a really bad dandelion infested lawn. If you've got a good looking, relatively free of dandelion lawn, this stuff is okay. It'll probably keep it relatively free of dandelions, but it's not going to solve a big bad problem. There you need to probably go after the spraying of the whole yard, which you can hire out, you can do yourself. Follow the label, as I said. Also, sometimes dandelions you can just hand pull. If you just have a few, go chemical free. Just get out there, get a little exercise,
get down
dig them up. Yeah, it's not hard to do. In terms of regular lawn fertilization, I always recommend either one of two things, either slow release, I want to see that on the label, slow release, or organic based. And organic based by nature is slow release. So get the common thread here. I like slow release fertilizers. The cheapest fertilizers you can buy tend not to be slow release, and they drop a whole lot of the nitrogen you're putting down ends up in the groundwater and not in your roots. And so you're wasting money and you're polluting at the same time. If you buy the slow release, it will fertilize over a much longer period of time. The fertilizer all goes into the roots. You're not wasting your money. You're not polluting. It's a lot better way to go. It might cost you just a little bit more, but you get what you pay for, really.
And I know a lot of people like to fertilize in the fall, some in the spring. What are some good peak times when we should be putting that fertilizer on?
if you have fertilized in the fall, meaning September into early October, which we highly recommend, you do not need to fertilize until about mid to late June. You're done. You don't have to worry about spring fertilization. If you didn't, you could probably fertilize right now, and then again mid-season, and then again in the fall. That's not a bad schedule.
All right.
So again, follow the label on the fertilizers. Some are the organics. Sometimes they have chicken manure base. Can be a little bit stinky. Goes away after about a day. You can also find the slow release. Another thing I like to look for in my fertilizer is iron. If you see iron in there, that's a little bit of a plus. If your lawn is turning the least bit yellow, it has nothing to do with nitrogen. It's iron. And you can also apply a fertilizer that's just an iron fertilizer if you are having a yellow lawn. One such product is Ironite. That'll take about 2 to 3 weeks to work, but it works. Another one that works a lot quicker is iron chelate, spelled CHELATE or chelate, depending on which way you want to pronounce it. And that's a little more expensive, but works a lot better, a lot quicker. It's absorbed right through the leaf. It'll turn your yellow lawn into a nice emerald green real quickly.
All right.
So
we're talking with Shane Smith, director of the Cheyenne Botanic Gardens. If you have a question for him, 632-6500, 632-3323. More from Shane straight away. Good morning.
So when we place that grant in your hand, how do you want it? 10 Benjamin Franklins, 20 grants, 50 Andrew Jacksons?
PayPal should work.
However it gets broken down, you could win $1,000 twice a day, every weekday on KGAB. When we tell you, be the 25th nationwide caller to toll-free 877-854-WINS. That's 877-854-9467 to win cash, plus a bonus 10 grand at KGAB.com from Cheyenne Auto and Metal, used auto parts and metal recycling.
This Saturday and Sunday, it's the Sportsman's Gun Show at the Outlet Malls in Level. Ladies, see the latest products to protect and defend your personal safety with 40 great stores, plus the Sportsman's Gun Show, all at the Outlet Malls. See you at the Gun Show this weekend at the Outlet Malls, I-25 and Highway 34.
Saturday, 9 to 5, Sunday, 10 to 4.
With an 11% rebate for everyone on everything, we can all bring home the American dream. Menards gives you the freedom to save on anything you choose, even sale items. That's savings on top of savings. Whether you're stocking up, cleaning out, fixing up, or building new, Menards has what your home needs. And you can save 11% on every single item. Hurry in because Menards has an 11% rebate on everything. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman on Cheyenne's #1 News Talk Radio, AM 650 KGAB.
And we're coming up on the bottom of the hour here. And by the way, if you want to head down to the gun show this weekend, should be a pretty nice weekend. During the break, give me a call at 632-6500, 632-3323. Maybe you want to sell a gun or buy a gun or trade, or maybe you just want to go browse around. It's absolutely free for you and a guest. And you don't even have to show up. So if you're in Colorado or Nebraska, here in Wyoming, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to be at the Loveland Mall this weekend, or if you want to head down that way, give me a call, 632-6500, 632-3323, and we'll get you hooked up with the gun show down there. And it's going to be the big gun show. So it's going to be a good time. I know a lot of you have gone down there. Again, all you got to do is show up. Say, my name is Joe Blow, and they'll get you in on the computer, and you and a guest can go and enjoy the show for Saturday and Sunday. So maybe you weren't going to make it there on Saturday, but maybe you were going to take a trip on Sunday. Cruise on in. Let us be the ones to get you there at 632-6500, 632-3323. I want to get rid of these gun show tickets, so help us out. Good morning.
AM 650 KGAB. Up to the minute news.
From the KGAB News Center, I'm Doug Randall. The Laramie Police Department's identified a woman who was found unconscious at the intersection of 9th Street and Russell. Police asked for the public's help in identifying the woman, who's described as approximately 35 years of age, 5 foot 2 inches tall, with short brown hair and Laramie Police Chief Stalder says the incident does not appear to have involved any criminal activity.
It was completely medical in nature. She had some issues going on and went for a walk and just had some medical problem.
The woman was identified with the help of the public. Her name has not been released. The recent cool, wet weather in Wyoming has slowed melting of the state's mountain snowpack. The Natural Resources Conservation Service says the statewide snowpack level this past week actually increased from 65% of median the week before to 92%. The Sweetwater, Upper and Lower North Platte, Laramie, Wind River, Upper Green, and Powder River basins especially benefited from the recent weather patterns. Only the Madison and Yellowstone River basins saw a drop in snowpack during the course of the week. Wyoming Symphony Orchestra conductor Matthew Savory is focusing on the music leading up to his first appearance at Carnegie Hall in New York. Savory will lead a string orchestra, harpsichordist Heike Dorr and violinist Alexander Markov through a program that includes Antonio Vivaldi's The Four Seasons. More news on demand at KGAB.com.
This is your Wild Preps Daily Radio Update for a Wednesday. I'm John Gabrielson. There were plenty of storylines that emerged from regional soccer. The Sheridan boys went into the weekend as a top seed. They'll go to state as a 4 seed after falling twice. They'll take on West champion Natrona in the first round. NC beat Riverton 2-1 in the finals. Gillette's boys will go in at number 1. They won't be second to Laramie for a third year in a row as the Plainsmen were eliminated on Thursday.
These guys were all with us the last couple of years where we won regionals, and then we get down to state and we take second. And the focus this entire season has been winning state. This is just a roadblock, one of those stepping stones and to get us where we need to be. So the focus has been, just continue doing the things we're doing right. And we got 3 games left, and that's kind of where they're at.
That's Camel coach Grant Seneff. Worland, Torrington, Buffalo, and Jackson will take number 1 seeds into the 3A boys state tournament in Jackson. In girls soccer, East and Kelly Walsh will take the top seeds into the 4A girls Rock Springs, while Cody, Buffalo, Lander, and Jackson are top seeds in see complete first-round pairings along with regional results on wildpreps.com.
And that's the ball game. The Warriors pick up a win today, but the game isn't over. Let's see if they all make it home safe. The first player slides into the passenger seat and reaches for the seatbelt. 2 other players are roughhousing in the backseat. Mom is already buckled in the driver's seat. She shoots them a stern look in the rearview mirror, and that's all it took. Both players buckled themselves in. Remember, the game is not over until everyone makes it home safe. Buckle up, every passenger, every trip, every time. Paid for with Federal Highway Safety Fund.
Being able to see your favorite dentist is important. And when you buy dental insurance from Delta Dental, you can be reassured that most likely your dentist is one of the 87% of Wyoming dentists participating in our network. Visit our website at www.deltadentalwy.org. That's www.deltadentalwy.org for more information on Delta Dental. And remember to show off your smile, Wyoming.
It's better when you win. See what's new in the WyoPreps Booster Club, WyoPreps.com.
State track and field saw some tremendous performances in 7 records that were broken. Thrower Martin Fitzwater of Lusk would flirt with a record that has stood for a long time but just couldn't get it, but he's okay.
I'm one of those kids, though, that's never satisfied, so I'm not going to lie. I am happy that I got my 3rd shot put title on my 2nd title, but I kind of wish things would have went out a little better. I kind of wish that my name would have been on the record boards, but there's nothing I can do about it now. I threw those throws and I had the chance to get them and I didn't grab them, so that's my own fault, and it's only me in the ring. I can't blame it on anybody else but myself.
See complete state track and field results along with video highlights from Kevin from the weekend online. This has been your WyoPreps Radio Update. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and for more things high school sports, it's at WyoPreps.com.
Well, the weather gets a little better today. It's going to be a bit warmer. We'll have partly cloudy skies. Yes, we'll have afternoon and evening, late day scattered showers and thunderstorms around again, although maybe not as many, but that chance is still there. As we get into Thursday and Friday, those are 2 days where it looks like it'll get wet again. and shower and thunderstorm activity will increase. However, by the weekend, slightly drier air comes in, and while thunderstorms still stay in the forecast in the late afternoon and evening hours, there won't be as many, and we'll have a bit more in the way of sunshine this weekend.
The West comes alive for 1 week this summer in Casper, and right out of the chute, bulls will rage, ropes will fly, and competitors will fall. And all of Wyoming will come together to tip our hats to champions. But dust settles. Like the rest of summer, CNFR Week will go fast. Plan your trip to the Rose Bowl of College Rodeo, June 14th through 20th, and save up to 20% on your hotel when you book at visitcasper.com.
Why did you escape to the historic Elk Mountain Hotel?
After the daily grind of the city, I want to get away. I want to be free of everyday reality. I want wonderful scenery and fabulous hospitality. I want to get back into life over dinner and a glass of wine.
Get away to the hospitality of the Elk Mountain Hotel, where time slows down. Visit elkmountainhotel.com and still your beating heart in the serenity of our Victorian country inn.
A little bit warmer, partly cloudy today, high 65 to 70. Today will bring a chance of afternoon and evening scattered showers and thunderstorms again. Lows mid-40s tonight. Thursday, cloudy, mid to upper 60s. A good chance Thursday for afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Friday, the same. A good chance for showers and thunderstorms and cooler with a high near 60. Low to mid-60s Saturday, partly cloudy with a late-day shower or thunderstorm. I'm meteorologist Don Day. More weather on demand at KGAB.com.
1 in 9 babies will be born prematurely, needing the specialized care of a neonatal ICU. Toby's Shower for Babies knows that new parents appreciate any kindness during this stressful time. That's why they donate baskets to the Level 4 NICU in Denver, the closest destination for preemies in the region. The baskets contain blankets, books, a stuffed animal, onesies, and more. They brighten up the room, as well as mom and dad's spirits. You can help by donating to this caring organization. Visit showerforbabies.org or find them on Facebook.
When we seek advice and information, we look for an expert. Fortunately, we have local experts right here in our community.
This is Travis Lingenfelter with Primrose Retirement Community. I invite you to listen on the second Thursday of each month at 8 a.m. We will discuss topics that affect seniors nationally and here locally in Cheyenne. Tune in for a very informative and interactive show. I look forward to hearing from you.
For more advice and insight from this local expert, visit KGAB.com now.
McNamee Auction Company would like to invite you to a moving auction this Saturday at 9 a.m. at the Lloyd and Joan Dayton residence, located at 5001 Ridge Road. There'll be tractors, including a John Deere 2750 mechanical front tractor with a 245 loader, wagons and buggies, harness, saddles, shop and woodworking equipment, guns, and much more. For more information, go to McNameeAuctionCompany.com or call them at 532-4976.
News, talk, sports, weather, opinions. KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman.
All right, 9:39 is the time. The phone number is 632-6500, 632-3323. And glad to have you with us. And not only you, but also glad to have the man who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, Mr. Shane Smith, director of the Cheyenne Botanic Garden. Shane, welcome back to the program.
Great to be here.
And you got a pretty big event coming up called Summer of Power. Tell us about it.
Yeah, this has been going on for many years, and we're really pleased that it is. It's we're kicking it off on Saturday, May 30th at 9 a.m. to noon. And this is Cheyenne Light Fuel and Power's gift to the community and to the Botanic Gardens. We call it the Summer of Power series. And what it is a number of events every week through summer. Summer fun, summer educational. Many teach you about energy use, energy conservation. What's going on this Saturday, as far as the very first event of the Summer of Power series, is Plant Pandemonium. And we're asking everybody to come help us plant. We're going to be planting the Children's Village with thousands of plants, 150 different flats. And come on by, and once you stick a few flowers in a pot, you'll be able to come back the whole rest of the summer knowing, hey, I planted that.
That's right. You got bragging rights.
So we're excited to do that. This Sunday, potato planting workshop. We're going to teach you all the secrets of planting these underground wonders. Potatoes are really easy to grow and a lot of fun, great for kids. That's at 1 p.m. this Sunday. Thursday, June 4th, we're going to be doing some more planting of our garden at 4 o'clock. And then we got a book fair coming up June 6th. We're working with a local author, Amanda Cabot, who has a lot of big selling books, and she's partnering with us to benefit the Paul Smith Children's Village at the Botanic Gardens. So we're going to be at Barnes & Noble talking about the gardens, and she'll be signing her book between 10 and 12 and 2 and 4. So that'll be a lot of fun. We're doing a wind art as part of the Summer of Power series on June 9th at 1 p.m. And, we can go on and on and on about all this, but
I was going to say, if we missed some of that, we can go out to your website at botanic.org.
Botanic.org. Easy one to remember.
Great. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on with Shane Smith.
Hello. Yes, I heard you talking about cutting wet grass earlier. I didn't catch all of it. And naturally, we haven't been able to cut the grass here for 2 weeks or more. And so if I raise my lawnmower up, because it'll never cut what's there now, if I raise my lawnmower up, it dries out a little bit this afternoon. I guess it's supposed to go up to 70. Is that going to be?
That's a good plan. The rule of thumb is you never should cut more than a third of the length of the grass at one time, or you can really stress it. If you do cut more, you better put usually we recommend you just let your clippings drop, but if you're cutting a big long chunk, you're going to probably stress the turf. It's not going to look great, especially if it dries out. And you also are going to need to catch the grass, because you're going to have or you could bale it with a hay baler at that point. I don't know.
Yeah, really. Well, I was thinking about getting a goat.
Yeah.
Teaching her how to milk it so she could make goat's milk cheese, pizza and macaroni and.
I think all the things your lawn could produce.
My shins were sore after bringing that up.
Well, anyway, you just got to pick your moment, sneak out there when it's as dry as you think it's going to get. And, if you need to mow a third now, wait 4 days and mow the other third then, that's probably a healthier way to go as far as the lawn's concerned. And we also recommend that you set your mower anyway on the high side, minimum of 2 inches, more recommended 2.5 to 3 inches. And that keeps the dandelions out, keeps the lawn healthier. The lawn uses less water. If you're going for that putting green look, you're really stressing your lawn, and it might look good for a few minutes, but you're going to find you're going to be getting a lot more weeds, dead spots, all kinds of trouble. Plus, it grows back quicker. When you cut it really low, you're stimulating it. It's when it's stressed, it's stimulated. It thinks it needs to grow even faster. So you're not buying yourself days on the other end of the next week by cutting low. So just go ahead and cut it high, and you're going to have a lot healthier lawn.
So wait and cut it high, and then wait a few more days. Don't see. That's what I was going to do.
Exactly.
I was going to raise the lawnmower up and cut it, and then cut it again. But wait a few days.
Yeah, just wait. Minimum a couple days, and then just go back at it again.
If we can.
If you can, if it stops raining, either that or build an ark.
And also too, I was over at my buddy's the other day, and he does all this stuff. She pays to have it sprayed, but he mixes up this stuff to get his dandelions with. It's like a gallon of vinegar and 2 cups of Epsom salt and a 1/4 cup of dish soap from Ajax or Dawn or whatever, and mixes it up and puts it in a sprayer, and he runs around and spot sprays all his dandelions because it's not chemical toxic. He said it does kill.
Right. And there are actually some vinegar formulations out there that are highly, much more acidic than the common store-bought vinegar. And if you're going to use vinegar as an herbicide, you need to know it doesn't kill to the root. It's more of a top burn. Some plants, that's all it takes to kill them. Other plants, they're going to suffer and come back after a little while. Also, it's not selective. It could be killing your grass surrounding each dandelion, so you might end up with a Dalmatian lawn with all kinds of spots in it. So it's
101 spots to be exact.
Right. So you have to be a little careful with that stuff. Now, like spraying in the alley, that kind of thing is great.
That's what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
You
calling.
bet.
Very good. Shane, coming in and out of grocery stores or some of these box stores, we see that people are really getting excited about what we would call potting plants.
Yeah, bedding plants.
Yeah, bedding plants. Any pros, cons, things we ought to be looking out for before we spend a bunch of money on them?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is we'll see bedding plants at grocery stores as a loss leader, which means they're selling them at cost or even less than cost just to get you into the store, and so you might be able to pick up a few good deals. But if you're buying bedding plants, a few things I always tell you to do is first of all, if it's a thickly planted kind of crop, make sure there's actually a plant in each cell. Sometimes you get home and you've got a dud, and you thought you were buying 6 plants and you're only buying 5 plants. So count them up. Make sure there's a stem coming out of every pot. The other thing is, look for healthy plants. Look on the undersides of the leaves and make sure there's no bugs. Sometimes people do sell buggy plants. Look for pot size. The bigger the pot size, the healthier the plant. I tend to like to purchase things like tomatoes and peppers from the bigger local growers and not from the grocery store. I like a bigger selection so I can find the better, earlier tomatoes. We've got one right here.
Yeah, right in the studio. So for those of you that are watching Shane on the webcam on our YouTube channel, and you see that greenery, that's a tomato plant he brought for the host. Thank you very much.
We planted the seed here a couple months ago, and now it's growing right out of the table.
And if you're worried, it is not property of the city of Cheyenne. It is actually property of Shane Smith, grown in his very own greenhouse.
Backyard
right?
greenhouse.
Yeah, just want to make that clear.
Right.
All right, let's go back to the phones.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on with Shane Smith.
Hello.
And they didn't want to talk to Shane Smith. Well,
okay. Well, we're still here if they change their mind.
But at any rate, well, let's change things up here a little bit. Peonies are not far from blooming here in Cheyenne. What are some of the tricks of the trade or the trade to get those jokers to grow?
Well, they're a great plant. They're perennial. They bloom for about 3 weeks. Very fragrant flower. It rivals a rose in terms of fragrance and beauty, and big flower. So people tend to like them. Pretty low maintenance. The main thing is if you're starting peonies, if you're buying peony bulbs or tubers in the store, be sure and do not plant them too deep. The big trick is shallow planting. They only need to be buried an inch.
1 inch.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 inch. And if they go too deep, they won't bloom. And in fact, if you have an old peony in your yard and you're thinking it hasn't bloomed for a few years, it probably soil builds up over time. So what used to be an inch now might be 5 inches, 6 inches.
Especially here with the wind and everything.
Yeah, things blow in, the soil builds up. So you may need to lift that peony, and probably fall's a better time than now, unless you're just really wanting to get on it. Lift it up and perhaps even in a place you've prepared and got a little bit more ready with some nice stuff in the soil, some compost and peat moss, things like that. And just be sure and plant it 1 inch deep, and you'll probably do just fine. Sometimes peonies can really benefit from a tomato cage or some kind of caging or staking. And beyond that, they're pretty trouble free. A lot of people believe that they see ants on the buds, and there's an old wives' tale that ants pull the petals back and enable the peony to bloom. They actually are feeding off there's a sweet substance on the bud right before it opens, and they're feeding on that. And by having ants there, they're fighting away some other critters that like to drill into the flower bud. And if they see ants there, they don't mess with them because the ants will bite them.
So it's a good thing to have the ant there.
So if you have ants on your flower buds, they're not enabling the flower to bloom, but they are protecting it. So it's a good thing.
All right. Also, I was talking to you a little bit off air. I recently did an article out at KGAB.com. I kind of have a weekend for your garden type of thing I do on the weekend. And one of the people like to attract bees. They like to attract butterflies, of course, hummingbird.
Yeah.
How does salvia, which I guess is from the sage family to some degree, how does that do here? Pretty hardy, pretty good plant to put
there's
in?
all kinds of salvia. There's perennial, there's annual, there's purple, blue, red, pink. There's even a white. And the annual red salvias are your best bet for attracting hummingbirds, butterflies. They're nice and showy, but they don't really kick into gear till about midsummer. So don't expect them to be this big prolific bloomer all the way from June on. You got to wait till mid-July. Then they really kick in and you get some nice blooms.
All right, great. But they're good for attracting those little critters, especially hummingbirds.
There's a lot of things that attract hummingbirds, and we do get hummingbirds in Cheyenne. A lot of people think we don't, but we do. You'll hear them here every once in a while. It's not like the mountains, but it's fun when you see them.
Yeah.
And so the more you plant in the way of red flowers, they like yellow flowers. There's a verbena bonariensis really will attract them. It's a tall, small flowered plant. Doesn't have a common name, so we have to call it verbena bonariensis, Bonarenisis, something like that. I'm getting close.
That's all right.
So, anyway, there are lots of things that will attract the butterflies and the birds in that are
and
give you a lot of fun to
even
watch.
as a primer, if you're just putting those plants in and you want to get those hummingbirds, you can also tie like a pink or red ribbon around the tree just to kind of get them in the yard. Then they'll figure out, oh, there's flowers here.
And then if you have a hummingbird feeder, which you need to keep fresh,
that's right.
There's lots of rules to that, and
that's
clean,
right.
you bet. Then they might hang around a little bit. The other phenomenon we see in Cheyenne every year is what's known as the humming moth, also known as a sphinx moth, and it flies almost identical to a hummingbird. It will hover and has a long proboscis that will feed out of the flower, and fun to watch. And it does go through a life cycle where it becomes a big plant-eating caterpillar, and if it's on your tomato, it'll eat it up pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'll have my BB gun then.
Yeah,
Top it off.
but it's a fun one to watch in the garden.
That's great. All right, 9:52 is the time. We'll take our last and final break. If you do have a question or a comment for Shane Smith, director of the Cheyenne Botanic Garden, give us a call, 632-6500, 632-3323. And also we have tickets to the gun show this weekend in Loveland. You can go on down there. It's the Outlets of Loveland. It's your hometown gun show with the latest products for hunting, to protect, defend, ammo, military, or if you just want to go browse around, there's dealers down there to buy, sell, and trade. It's Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4, 2 days for one price. Of course, it's absolutely free for you. If you'll give me a call, we'll get you a couple of tickets, and you don't even have to show up to the studio. All you got to do is show up to the event at 632-6500. Stay on the line. We'll be with you right away.
I perform for our high school choir director, who taught me to breathe from the diaphragm and sing from the heart.
Speech, debate, theater, music. The performing arts teach valuable life lessons that typically aren't taught in the classroom. They help high school students learn leadership skills that prepare them to enjoy more satisfying, productive lives.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Who will you perform for?
This message presented by the Wyoming High School Activities Association and the high school in your community.
What's the worst time to think about your auto insurance? The day you need it. Of course, then it's too late, especially if you don't have the right coverage. AAA can help. Our agents take the time to help you figure out the coverage you need to be protected. That's insurance the AAA way. So talk to your local AAA agent or visit us online at AAA.com/trust and learn what auto insurance is like the AAA way.
The Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce is proudly hosting the Military Appreciation Celebration event with presenting sponsor Roxanne P. Oslin CPA PC on May 30th in the parking lot east of the state capitol between Central Avenue and Warren Avenue from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The celebration will include interactive displays from all branches of our armed forces, Reed Barrett the Mentalist and Magician, a balloon twister, and more. With the purchase of a raffle ticket, you can receive a complimentary lunch and will be automatically entered to win a specialty bike from the bicycle station, customized to fit the winner. For more information, please call the Chamber at 638-3388.
Spring into savings with a 2.9% APR balance transfer, no transfer fees, 1% cash back rewards, and 2.9% APR until 2016 means big savings if you're paying on high-rate cards. Stop by 120 West Carlson or call 432-7400. Everyone in Laramie County can join.
Annual percentage rate with approved credit, post-promo rate determined by your credit score. Ask for details. Insured by NCUA.
First Education Federal Credit Union.
Walk MS is the rallying point of the MS movement. Your community coming together to raise funds and celebrate hope for the future. The National Multiple Sclerosis Society raises money to support life-changing programs for people living with MS in our community and drives cutting-edge research. Join us and be inspired to make connections that count. The walk is free, but fundraising is encouraged. Join Town Square Media and Sam's Club and walk to create a world free of MS on May 30th at Cheyenne Depot Plaza.
Medical professionals. Wyoming Work Warehouse invites you to check out their vast selection of scrubs,
Carrying 8 major labels, including Koi, Wonder Wing, Dickies, and Carhartt in over 50 styles with sizes ranging from extra small to 5X, petite to talls, all in one location. Experience the hub for scrubs. Wyoming Work Warehouse, your medical workwear supplier right here at home. 3502 Delrange, next to King Soopers. The hub for scrubs.
And now, more KGAB Mornings with Gary Freeman on AM 650 KGAB.
All right, good morning, 9:56. Getting ready to wrap up another wonderful show here. Glad you could be with us. And, of course, glad to have the man who's not afraid to get his hands dirty, Mr. Shane Smith, director of the Cheyenne Botanic Garden. We have time for probably 1 or 2 more phone calls at 632-6500. Let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on with Shane.
Yes, I have a question about my crabapple tree. It is old. It bloomed beautifully this year, but it's starting to leaf out, but the leaves are yellow. They don't seem to be the pretty green.
Well, that could be a function of temperature. When the leaves first come out, sometimes they're stressed a little bit and they will not be quite the right coloration. I'd give it another week or 2 of weather. Hopefully we warm up a little bit and dry out. If you're still seeing yellow after a couple of weeks, then I would tell you probably have an iron deficiency.
Okay,
and that's
so
when
I can put that iron chelate or whatever.
Yeah, iron chelate. And it's it might be kind of hard to find. I'm not seeing the garden centers carry it like they used to, but look around, maybe they can get it in for you.
Okay.
And that will probably bring it out. Just follow the label and keep after it. Trees, it's a little slower process to get them to green up.
Okay. Thank you very much for the answer.
Anytime.
Yes,
Thanks for
the
calling.
phone call, and best to you on that. And yeah, it's a lot of little remedies we can do, but I would always say that when in doubt, check it out, right? Just because a buddy of yours said, "Yeah, you ought to do this," it may not be the best thing.
Yeah, it's we have to go easy on our yards. Sometimes a little benign neglect goes a long way. So
that's right.
You don't want to overdo things.
That's right. Well, Shane, we're getting ready to wrap up, and I know you're all excited about them digging that hole. If we can get some of this water to dissipate here a little bit, so we can get going on that addition for the Cheyenne Botanic Gardens. And for those of you that are new and aren't familiar with that, it's going to be a great addition. What, a 3-story building with a basement?
No basement.
Oh, okay.
The water table's so high in Lions Park, we can't do a basement.
I gotcha.
We wish we could. That would be nice. We could use.
But it's going to be a 3-story and really cool.
It's going to have a Navy submarine periscope in it, a rooftop telescope viewing area, some meeting rooms, tropical plants, places to. You can visit the tropics without going through TSA.
I'm digging that. Well, Shane, best to you out there.
Okay.
And, hopefully you'll get some good volunteers for putting these plants
They're
in the
out
ground.
there right now.
And again, if you want more information, botanic.org. Again, that is botanic.org. My name is Gary Freeman. Glad to have you with us, Shane. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Rush Limbaugh straight ahead. Until next time, so long for now.
KGAB Orchard Valley, Cheyenne, with breaking news, weather, sports, and talk. AM 650 KGAB, a Wild Preps radio station.